Hello and welcome back to another video or audio if you're listening in an audio format. My name is Justyna. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer or listener, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here, welcome to your weekly horoscopes for all signs for the week starting on September the 29th, lasting until the 5th of October. So this week we are going to focus on three major aspects, and this is Mercury and Jupiter square happening on October the 1st. And then we've got on the 3rd of October, we've got Venus and the Node opposition. And this is, of course, Venus in a Virgo will oppose the North Node in Pisces. Simultaneously, it will conjunct the South Node in Virgo. And we also have Mercury and Chiron opposition happening also on the 3rd of October. So these three aspects will be very, very prominent in the upcoming week. We'll see how they will influence each zodiac sign on a deeper level. These horoscopes are most accurate for the rising sign. However, you can also watch for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and a wider perspective upon your life, upon your week ahead. So thank you very much, and let's begin. All right, so hello Aries and welcome to your weekly horoscope. So here we start this brand new week with Mercury and Jupiter square. An aspect that is exact on this very 1st of October, but it will be activated on the 30th of September. It will last until the 2nd of October. So here, Mercury being the planet of our mindset, rational thinking, curiosity, squaring, which here squares represent tension, a challenge, an obstacle that we have to overcome. Jupiter in Cancer in your 4th house. So here, this energy, whenever Jupiter squares other planets, very often, especially here, those personal planets or the luminaries, very often this energy can manifest as feeling overconfident, over optimistic, not fully grounded in the reality. So the way this energy could manifest in your life is that perhaps you might overpromise. Perhaps you might think that you can handle more than you can realistically deliver. So definitely be sure of anything that you engage in. If you want to take on extra responsibilities, or perhaps if you want to if you think you can handle an extra project at your work, for instance, make sure you check your schedule. Make sure that you don't overcommit, because here this energy can very much lead to overcommitting or overpromising without realizing that perhaps you're not able to keep your promise or perhaps deliver your project on time. So it can lead to potential frustration. So try to pause and look at your calendar, look at your schedule before you say yes, especially to something extra, to an extra responsibility, perhaps to an additional meeting, for example. So here, that's the energy resonating between the 30th of September and the 2nd of October. Then on the 3rd, we've got Mercury and Chiron opposition, but also Venus and the North Node opposition. So here again, this energy can become active on the 2nd of October. It can last until the 4th. So here, first of all, with Mercury and Chiron opposition, this activates your 1st and the 7th house axis. So this energy can bring old insecurity about some unfulfilled goals, desires, dreams, for example. Someone's criticism could feel very, very personal, like a personal attack, or perhaps generally something that you read or hear, or a conversation you might have with another person might make you question your path, your career decisions, for example. So the key here is to separate a single comment that someone makes or something that you read or hear from your overall competence, because at the same time we are dealing with slightly different energies. This is when Venus also opposes the North Node, and this could indicate, and here again, this is between the 2nd and the 4th of October, this energy could bring a potential major turning point in a close relationship, in a close connection, for example, in a generally one-to-one connection overall. And perhaps you might have to face a situation that might feel like you're losing control of a certain situation, or perhaps it might feel like you're losing your independence in one way or another. So here, this is a really important energy, especially if you this is connected to your personal relationships, some important decisions you'll be making with your partner. Maybe they are moving in or you're moving in to their space, for example, you're planning a mutual trip, or if this is, for example, related to your business partner or an important client relationship, whatever the scenario, this is about having a really honest conversation, especially if you feel like things are seem unclear, or if you're not on the same page, or perhaps if you feel like you're experiencing a slightly clash of energy. So this is about having these transparent, honest conversations, especially about your needs, especially about your goals, so that you're on the same page, so that you can find a compromise as well. All right, so this is what I've got for you today, Aries. So thank you very much. Now let's have a look at Taurus. Taurus, welcome. So this week here we've got a few important transits activated. So first of all, this week from the 30th of September until the 2nd of October, Mercury and Jupiter connect by a square. So this energy can feel can manifest as generally feeling overly optimistic about a certain idea, goal. Perhaps watch out for any tendencies connected to overcommitting, overpromising, overextending yourself. And here with that Jupiter energy being so highly activated, and Jupiter is currently in your area of communication as well, short distance travel, while Mercury is in the sign of Libra, and that's your 6th house. So this is when you might generally find yourself with lots of different ideas about life, about your life direction, for example. So it's very easy during these sort of transits to get lost in the details, because it's like an information overload, or lots of different ideas going through your mind. So for example, you might decide to plan a foreign trip of some kind, for instance, but perhaps you might overlook the mundane responsibilities, tasks, of perhaps booking flights or researching visa requirements, for example, to this particular destination. So here, this is definitely a day to brainstorm and think big, but at the same time, be realistic about your expectations, especially of what you can afford. Also, at this point in your life, before jumping too quickly into these big ideas, goals, milestones. Now, at the same time, the other two transits of the week are exact on the 3rd of October. They will be activated on the 2nd. They will last until the 4th. So here we've got a karmic energy being activated, especially since Venus is present here in opposition to the North Node and the conjunct the South Node. Venus is, of course, your chart ruler. So this is a really, really important alignment of the week for you. So this could feel, for some, Taurus rising as a testing moment, time, if you will, in your important relationship in your life, or perhaps you might be making an important financial decision, transaction, for example. So the way this could manifest is, for example, your long-term partner might want to get more serious about your relationship, this connection, but perhaps you might be in two minds. Perhaps you might be unsure if this is it. So here, this is a moment. This is a moment to pause, slow down, if this is the case, and think carefully whether the path that you're on is in alignment with your values, and not just temporary desires. And it doesn't have to necessarily be connected to your personal relationship. It could be connected to your career path. It could be connected to your job situation. So it's all about realizing whether you are on the right track, whether you are on the right path, whether you are in alignment. This is so important, because if you're not in alignment, then this is when these questions will be popping up, and definitely a time to slow down and think things through. But at the same time, we've got Mercury and Chiron in opposition also on the same day, which could trigger some old wounds, unhealed emotions, unhealed memories related to your career goals, to your life objectives, to your achievements, for example, and watch out for any negative energies. With oppositions, this is often connected to other people's influence in your life. Perhaps someone maybe making a comment that you might not necessarily appreciate, and it might feel deeply personal. So don't let it shake your confidence. This is your chance also for realizing who you can truly count on in your life, who is worth your energy, who is worth your time. All right, but at the same time, whenever these wounds and unhealed emotions come up to the surface, this is our chance to also approach them, to face them, and to understand them, why they are coming up, why they are showing up. This is very, very often a time or an opportunity, if you will, for healing, letting go, releasing. Thank you very much. Taurus. Now, Geminis, welcome. So here, this is a significant week for you. Your ruler is very active this week, forming in challenging alignments with other planets. So, of course, we've just finished the eclipse season as well, which is very triggering also for Geminis and Sagittarians, because these eclipses square your important placements in these signs. So here we start this week with Mercury and Jupiter square, which is exact on the 1st of October, and it will be generally active between the 30th of September and the 2nd of October. So here, this week tests your communication skills, and it could create some challenges as well. And generally, with Mercury and Jupiter square exact on the 1st of October, this could generally indicate that your mind will be very, very overstimulated, very active, buzzing with lots of different ideas. But at the same time, during these sort of transits, it's very easy to get scattered and lack focus. So, for example, you might have this amazing idea for a creative project, for a trip that you want to take in the near future, but perhaps you might find it difficult to decide which of the 10, 15 options to choose to go for. So here, this is about generally choosing one and committing to it, but not necessarily deciding on impulse. Write it down, research. It's generally, if you feel like you can't really decide, then here that means that you're not fully grounded, and to ground yourself, and at the same time be realistic. Watch out for any tendencies connected to over committing, over extending yourself, over promising. These are very prominent during these sort of transits. Now, at the same time, on the 3rd, we've got two other transits activated, but they will be already active from the 2nd of October until the 4th, exact on the 3rd. So here, your ruler Mercury is yet again involved in another challenging alignment, and this is an opposition to Chiron. As I mentioned before, oppositions often involve other people's influence in our life, so it can bring up generally some old unhealed emotions, wounds, memories around your intellectual abilities, around your educational path, for example, some unfulfilled goals, ambitions, for example. And watch out for any people who might want to make you feel small or perhaps disempower you in some way or criticize you. Because generally it might make you feel insecure, especially about what you know, about what you're capable of. What you're capable of. So, the best approach during this time is to listen to the feedback, but remember that your worth, your intelligence, your intellect, your capabilities aren't connected to one idea or someone else's opinion. Now, at the same time, we also have Venus and the North Node opposition. So this could also indicate a major turning point, a karmic turning point, because Venus connects with the South Node at the same time in Virgo. And here we've got some kind of shifts when it comes to your daily life, your habits, your daily responsibilities. And it's probably time to let go of something that fulfilled its purpose. So perhaps you might be faced with the choice to either go to the gym or stay on the couch at home. So the practical choice is to get up and go. Here, the energies are about making practical choices. Let go of what drains your energies. Commit to what help you grow. Thank you very much, Geminis. Now, Cancers, welcome. Right, so we've got an interesting week with a few challenging transits. So first of all, Mercury and Jupiter square exact on the 1st of October, active from the 30th of September until the 2nd of October. So this generally energy can create a certain degree of a mental fog, uncertainty for some as well. So, first of all, Mercury is the planet of our mindset, our rational thinking, curiosity. And with square to Jupiter, some of the manifestations of this transit involve, for example, overcommitment, overextending oneself, over promising. So stay grounded in the reality and generally be realistic about what your expectations, what you're capable of this at this point in your life. Because this energy could also create some miscommunications here, perhaps even with family members, people close to your heart. Jupiter is in Cancer, the sign connected to family dynamics. And at the same time, watch out for overcommitting, overpromising. For example, the way this energy could manifest is that perhaps you might promise to help your sibling with something significant, but then you might realize that you've overextended yourself. So you acted on impulse, and then actually you might realize that it was just too much, that you weren't really thinking in the moment when you offered help, because perhaps you didn't have enough time or you didn't have enough energy, you weren't enough present to fully support your sibling at the time. So the practical advice is to check your schedule before saying yes. On the October the 3rd, we've got two important transits, but they will be already active from the 2nd of October. They will last until the 4th. The first one is Mercury and Chiron opposition, which could potentially trigger some unhealed wounds, memories, around your career or around your career goals, objectives. For example, since Jupiter in Cancer is activated in your first house. Mercury is in the fourth house. So here, those unhealed emotions could be very much present, alive. They might come as a result of someone perhaps saying something that may upset you, that you could take very personally, for instance. Or it might be that someone might give you constructive criticism, but might feel like a personal attack. And generally, try not to internalize it too much. Take it as a feedback, as an opportunity to improve, if this is the case. Because at the same time, we also have a karmic transit on the same day, which will be active also between the 2nd and the 4th of October. And this is when Venus opposes the North Node and is conjunct the South Node in Virgo. So this brings a really important turning point in your love life, in your relationships, connections in your life, or perhaps with your children. And you might be faced with the choice to perhaps either follow your passions, follow your interests, or perhaps to stay comfortable with what you already have. So, this is about generally choosing what feels right, what feels in alignment, what brings you the most joy. Because here with Venus aligning with the South Node, this is also when a part, something is kind of dissolving in your life. This is when generally you're letting go of something that fulfilled its purpose and lost its spark. And this is happening in your area here. Venus is activated with the South Node in your area of communication, your mindset. So perhaps your mindset is shifting. Your perception of reality in some way or another. All right, so thank you very much, Cancers. Now let's have a look at Leos. Leos, welcome. So we've got a few important transits activated this week. First of all, Mercury and Jupiter square, which is exact on the 1st of October. It will be active already from the 30th of September until the 2nd of October. And here we've got the planet of communication, rational mind, rational thinking, curiosity, clashing with Jupiter in Cancer on October the 1st. So generally, this energy can lead to overconfidence, overextending oneself, overpromising. So definitely check your schedule before committing to new goals, new projects, for example, before even offering help, because this energy can lead to overconfidence, especially in your work sphere, in your daily life, in your relationship. So, for example, you might tell your neighbor that you can fix or help them fix their fence without having the proper tools. So generally, be sure of what you're getting yourself into, especially if you're offering help. So double check your resources, for example, before offering help. Double check your schedule before offering your time. This sort of vibe. Now, at the same time, on the 3rd, we've got Mercury and Chiron opposition, which will already be active from the 2nd until the 4th. And this energy here with oppositions often are connected to other people's influence in our lives, external influences overall. This energy can bring up old insecurities about your beliefs, about your educational path. So, for example, you might be hesitant to speak your mind in a public display, perhaps at a conference or in your outside world overall, because you might feel like you don't know enough. So this energy here is generally pushing you, encouraging you, prompting you to trust yourself, to trust your intellect, to trust your wisdom without letting self-doubt get in the way. Any unhealed emotions, memories that come up connected to these sort of dynamics are here to help you to face them, understand them, release them. Now, also on the same day, and here again, this transit, Venus and the North Node opposition will be active on the 3rd, but it will already be kind of in the air from the 2nd until the 4th. This is when Venus will align with the South Node and it will be in opposition to the North Node in Pisces. So this generally here is definitely karmic fated energy in play. And this could indicate some important situations, decisions, turning point in the area of home, family dynamics. Perhaps this is when you This is a chance to also let go of what is no longer in alignment, what's not working anymore. Something is dissolving in the area of your daily life, of your home. This is between realizing what's working and what isn't, what it's time to let go of, and what no longer serves you, what stops you from growth, development, what healthy changes you can implement into your life to help you reach long term peace. So, thank you very much, Leos, and let's have a look at Virgos. So, hello, Virgos, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. So, here we start with your chart ruler, Mercury forming a square with Jupiter, and this aspect is exact on the 1st of October, and the influence of this transit can already be felt or may already be felt from the 30th of September until the 2nd of October. All right, so here with Jupiter's influence, here squares often create tension, an obstacle that we need to overcome. And here with Mercury and Jupiter clashing, this could indicate a potential mental fog, especially since Mercury is your ruler. So, generally, here, watch out for these energies because they can lead to potential overspending here, especially since Mercury is in Libra in your second house. So, be conscious of your spendings, of your outgoings. Under the influence of this transit, very often we can extend ourselves, we can overpromise. So here, generally, energies are pretty scattered, especially around your financial situation, your income. So, for example, you might see a great deal online or perhaps a new gadget that you want to buy, and perhaps you might end up buying it impulsively only to regret it later. So be conscious of your spendings, of your outgoings during this time. And perhaps wait 24 hours a day or so before making a major purchase during this time. Now, if something isn't clear, especially if you're going to have some important conversations around finances, money, income, then clarify it, ask questions. Now, on the 3rd, on the other hand, we've got also your ruler Mercury being active. It forms an opposition with Chiron. And we also have Venus and the North Node opposition. So, first of all, these energies will be active from the 2nd of October until the 4th, especially in alignment on the 3rd. So here, Mercury and Chiron opposition can bring up some old wounds, unhealed memories, emotions around anything to do with transformation, shared and joint resources, intimacy. Perhaps you might feel more vulnerable during this time, discussing any important matters, money issues, perhaps some financial, emotional entanglements with your partner, with your business partner. Perhaps it might be when you might feel emotionally triggered by someone else's problems, by someone else's financial situation or decisions. So here, generally, this is a time to stick to facts, stick to what is real, to what you know. Don't let your emotions take over. This can be a pretty deep, emotionally deep energy. And if you feel emotionally overstimulated or drained, then perhaps engage in activities that can help you relax your mind, relax your energies overall. On the same day, we also have Venus and the North Node opposition, so that's the 3rd. But as I mentioned earlier, you could begin to feel it on the 2nd until the 4th. We've got a karmic aspect. Venus and the South Node connect by a conjunction, and here we've got an opposition to the North Node in Pisces as well. So this energy could indicate a potential turning point, especially when it comes to any decisions that you made or you're kind of making in the process of making at the time of this conjunction taking place. This could be anything to do with some news decisions. So perhaps with the South Node being activated by Venus, this is also about something dissolving in your life, something that is no longer in alignment. Maybe this is about your mindset. Maybe this is about anything to do with your communication style, and anything to do with any paperwork, documents that you'll be dealing with around this time. So the way this could also manifest is that perhaps you might have to tell a friend that you can't help them with a project without feeling guilty about it, or perhaps you might have to cancel a night out with someone that you've already planned a night out, or perhaps you might have to cancel or change your plans you had with another person. So this is about being honest. Generally, instead of trying to avoid making this decision or delivering some uncomfortable news. So, thank you very much, Virgos. And let's have a look at Libras now. Libras, welcome. So, we've got this brand new week, brand new energies, karmic energies this week as well, especially since your ruler Venus is activated. So, first of all, we've got Mercury and Jupiter square on the 1st of October, but this energy can already be felt around the 30th of September until the 2nd of October. Squares often indicate tension and a possible obstacle that you might have to overcome. But at the same time, whenever Jupiter is activated by a square, this could also lead to potential energy that could manifest as overconfidence, over-promising, overspending. So this energy could potentially create some kind of overconfidence, especially when it comes to your beliefs, your opinions, for example. So perhaps you might tell someone, perhaps your friend, that you're going to start a new business, only to realize you have no idea where to start. Here, this is generally about being realistic, grounded in the reality, and don't overcommit to things that perhaps you're not sure about. It's about taking a step by step approach. Make a list of your goals, of your objectives, but perhaps hold off on sharing them publicly too quickly. That's here the practical advice for this transit. Now, at the same time, if you want to offer help during this time, make sure that you've got the resources, make sure that you've got time, make sure that you've got the energy to whatever that you commit yourself into. Now, on the 3rd, on the other hand, we've got two important transits, Mercury and Chiron opposition, and Venus and the North Node opposition. So two oppositions on the 3rd, which might already be felt on the 2nd until the 4th. So these energies could first of all indicate some fated events and major turning points, but at the same time, especially the opposition to Chiron could potentially bring up some old wounds, unhealed emotions, unhealed memories to the surface related to your closest relationships, related to anything to do with your anything to do with self-confidence, the ability to assert yourself confidently, for example. Perhaps you might be faced with a decision where a partner, a friend, someone close to your heart, perhaps wants to get more serious about this potential project, goal, idea, relationship, but perhaps you're not ready to fully commit. You're not ready to fully engage. You're not ready to fully lose your freedom. So, this is about being honest with yourself. This is about being honest about what you want. It's about being honest about your needs, and perhaps without sacrificing them for the sake of harmony. So, this is a reality check in a way, because with the South Node activation by Venus, something that is no longer in alignment is naturally dissolving, leaving your reality, so to speak. But at the same time, this energy could also make you realize what's working, what isn't, whether you're on the right track or whether something needs to changed. So thank you very much, Libras. And now let's have a look at Scorpios. Scorpios, welcome. So this week we've got a few important alignments taking place. The first one is Mercury and Jupiter square happening on October the 1st. This energy can already feel active on the 30th of September until the 2nd of October. So here Mercury is the planet of communication, mindset, rational thinking. It is in your 12th house at this point, the area of hidden matters, the subconscious, So this energy here is going to connect with Jupiter by a square. Jupiter is in your ninth house, so here Mercury and Jupiter square can often lead to generally a tendency to overextend oneself, overpromise, for example. It can also create a sense of overconfidence as well, especially when it comes to your thoughts, your ideals, your ideas, perhaps some behind the scenes projects you're working on. So, for example, you might feel over confident about a certain idea or something that you hear at work or something that you see online, and without checking the small print, without checking the facts. So here, with under the influence of these energies, it's a good time for writing things down. Write down your ideas, take a step-by-step approach, but perhaps wait before fully committing, fully engaging. Make sure you've got more information before taking action. Now, at the same time, on the 3rd, we've got Mercury and Chiron opposition, and also Venus and the North Node opposition. So we've got a little bit of that karmic energy being activated. And this energy will be active between the 2nd and the 4th of October, especially on the 3rd. So here with Mercury and Chiron opposition, Chiron in Aries, so we've got the 6th and 12th house energies, which are really heavy, heavy houses on its own. But here, these energies could bring some potential old insecurities, some unhealed wounds, memories up to the surface. And they could generally make you think about your lifestyle, your daily life, how productive you are on daily basis, how well you manage your time, how organized you are also in your daily life, at your work, what's working, what isn't. And this will be especially prominent during this time. At the same time, you might feel more sensitive than usual to criticism at work, for example, or generally coming from things that you do on a regular basis, from your immediate environment. You might feel more vulnerable about your well-being as well. So generally, don't let a minor setback get you down during this time, because at the same time we've got Venus and the North Node opposition happening as well, which could potentially indicate a major turning point in the area of your sense of self-worth, in the area of finances as well. And perhaps you might be faced with a choice to either stay at a job that you don't really like, that it does a job that doesn't bring fulfillment, or perhaps you might have an opportunity to follow a passion that is more in alignment with your long-term goals. So this is also about choosing a path that will bring most satisfaction, that will bring most fulfillment, that will bring most peace. And with Venus and the South Node conjunction in your area of friendships, long term goals, and hopes, this is an energy that could also indicate that perhaps you either letting go of a connection that fulfilled its purpose, that no longer aligns or works. This could be also about moving away from some kind of misconceptions you may have about friends, about your belonging within a certain social circle. But at the same time, this could also indicate a fated meeting, a fated connection, for example, as well. So keep an eye on the opportunities that emerge around this time. Thank you very much. Let's have a look at Sagittarius now. Sagittarius, welcome. This week brings a shift of energy. Jupiter, your ruler, is activated on the 1st of October by Mercury. We've got Mercury and Jupiter square. This energy will be active from the 30th of September until the 2nd of October, especially on the 1st of October. Lots of internal energies being activated during this time as well, internal reflections, and at the same time here, Mercury is in Libra, squaring Jupiter in Cancer in your 8th house. Mercury is in your area of friendships, groups you belong to, hopes, wishes. So generally watch out for any tendencies connected to overcommitting, overextending yourself, overconfidence even, especially when it comes to your friendships, groups you belong to, some teamwork, your goals, objectives for the future. Because very often under the influence of these energies, we jump too quickly into conclusions. We overcommit or we engage or in activities, jump too quickly in activities without being fully ready. So the way this energy could manifest is perhaps you might promise to help a friend, perhaps with a certain project, but perhaps later you might realize that you don't actually have that much time. So here, try to generally check your schedule, for example, in this case scenario, before committing. Check if you have enough time to fully commit. Check if you have resources to help, for instance, as well. So this is a week to listen carefully, but hold back before fully committing without first checking if you have time for it, if you've got the right resources, for example, if whatever that you engage in is fully in alignment. On the third, we've got Mercury and Chiron opposition, and we have Venus and the North Node opposition. These energies will be activated on the 2nd of October. They will be active until the 4th, especially on the 3rd. So first of all, with Mercury and Chiron opposition, oppositions are often connected to other people's involvement in our lives. So this could perhaps, this energy under the influence of these energies, this energy could bring up some old insecurities, unhealed wounds around some unfulfilled goals, unfulfilled achievements in your life. So perhaps at a social gathering or at work, someone might make a comment that could feel like a personal attack. So don't let it get to you. Whatever comes up, shows up during this time. This is, well, maybe the universe is trying to get your attention. Maybe there's a wound that is ready to be healed and released. At the same time, we also have some karmic energy being activated during this time. That's where Venus opposes the North Node. So we've got Venus and the North Node opposition, but at the same time, Venus will align with the South Node in Virgo. So here, this can lead to some karmic event situations happening in your career, maybe some fated meeting with a female, some influential female in your life. This could indicate a potential turning point in some key relationship in your career or in someone connected to your career growth development. But at the same time, this could generally indicate that perhaps questions regarding your path, the direction that you're heading, could be showing up, coming up to the surface as well. You might be questioning your path, see what's working, what isn't, but also pay attention to any feminine energy, some influential female energy being prominent in your life around this time. But at the same time, with the South Node being activated by Venus, this is also about something dissolving from your reality, whether this is some kind of connection, some kind of objectives that no longer align, ambitions in regards to your path. So that's what I've got for you. Thank you very much. Now let's have a look at Capricorns. Capricorns, welcome. So we start this week with Mercury and Jupiter square, which will be exact on October the 1st, but it will already be felt from the 30th of September until the 2nd of October, especially on the 1st of October. So, first of all, Mercury is the planet of communication, our mind, rational thinking, transportation, and squares are connected to obstacles, tension, and generally a little bit of effort we need to implement in order to overcome these energies. Jupiter, of course, offers growth, expansion, but here in a square to Mercury, it can lead to generally potential miscommunications in your area of outside world, public life, career. And watch out for any tendencies connected to over-promising, overextending yourself, because it can lead to disappointment, it can lead to frustration, and stay grounded in the reality. Don't overcommit to things that perhaps you don't really have time for. So the way that this energy could manifest is that perhaps you might promise to handle a new project at your work without checking your schedule, without checking the details. It might sound really promising, but perhaps once you understand the project slightly deeper, it might you might realize that perhaps it might be too much. You might not have enough time. So here, double check all your emails, double check all your communications before fully committing to something brand new, before over promising. But at the same time, also, since this energy could also indicate potential lack of clarity, miscommunication, also check all your emails before you send them during this time. Now, at the same time, on the 3rd, we've got two important oppositions, Mercury and Chiron, and Venus and the North Node opposition. So this energy will be active between the 2nd of October and the 4th. Mercury and Chiron opposition can potentially trigger some generally some deeper wounds, unhealed emotions, unhealed memories, energies, especially those related to your emotional side of your life, your home, your roots, where you come from, family dynamics. So you might be extra sensitive around this time to criticism coming from a family member. So try not to take things too personally. If it's a constructive criticism, take it as an opportunity to grow, because at the same time, Venus and the North Node form an opposition. So we've got Venus and the South Node aligning. So here something is dissolving from your reality. This could indicate a potential turning point in your area of health, well-being. Venus is in Virgo at this time, with Virgo energy here for you Capricorns. This is the area of your beliefs, your life philosophy as well. This could manifest as also a fated meeting of some kind of influential person who could might not even feel this way at the time, or, although it could for some. But it could indicate a new connection, some fated connection, for example, so someone that you meet that could feel like you've known them for a very long time. And at the same time, this energy could also indicate that you are generally, your mindset is changing, your worldview is shifting in one way or another. And at the same time, your opinions about certain aspects of life. This could indicate potential lifestyle changes or some kind of changes in your daily life, daily routine, possibly as well. The ninth and the third house axis are activated. So this is about also realizing what's in alignment in your life and what isn't, what needs to shift and change in order for you to find a greater sense of fulfillment. So here with these energies and the North Node being activated, this is between choosing the comfortable, the familiar path, and perhaps between choosing something new, different. It's an opportunity for implementing something fresh into your life, a new routine, a new habit, something to simplify your life, something to bring more fulfillment as well. So thank you very much. Now let's have a look at Aquarius. Aquarius, welcome. So here we start this brand new week with Mercury and Jupiter square. This transit will be active, especially active on the 1st of October, but we will already start to feel its influence on the 30th of September until the 2nd of October. So here Mercury and Jupiter square can create a mental fog in a way, and scattered thinking. And generally, Mercury rules our mind, rules our communication style, rational thinking. Where is Jupiter? Jupiter is the planet connected to growth, higher education, anything to do with expansion as well, like good fortune. And however, with a square, with Mercury. Very often, Jupiter square towards Mercury can make us over optimistic, can make us feel less grounded in their reality. So here with generally here, watch out for any impulse ideas, impulse actions, because this energy could manifest as perhaps you deciding you want to book a last minute trip only to realize you don't have enough money, or perhaps you don't have enough holiday left at work. So here, under the influence of these energies, it's essential to first check your schedule to ensure that you have time to commit to some new goals, projects, objectives. Check your emails also before sending them out. There is a tendency towards experiencing miscommunication with others. And at the same time, make sure that you have time, that you've got the right resources before engaging into some new projects, ideas. And at the same time, if when it comes to booking something on impulse, perhaps first do some research, but hold off on booking anything on impulse. Now, at the same time, on the third, we've got two important oppositions. This is the first one is Mercury and Chiron opposition, and the second one is Venus and the North Node opposition. These energies will be active from the 2nd until the 4th of October, especially prominent on the 3rd. So with Mercury and Chiron opposition, so yet again, Mercury is activated during this week. Mercury, as I mentioned earlier, the planet of our rational mind, thinking processes. So here, the planet of communication, of course, as well. Chiron is the wounded healer. And with Chiron opposing Mercury, this often is related to other people's influence in our lives. So first of all, this energy can bring up some old insecurities and healed emotions, especially around your communication style, your beliefs, your life philosophy, and your intellect. And perhaps you might feel more sensitive to any negative comments or criticism coming from a friend, or perhaps other people within group settings even. So don't let perhaps a comment make you question yourself, make you question your wisdom. Any thoughts, negative thoughts, insecurities that may show up around this time. Maybe the universe is trying to kind of tell you that it's time to heal these wounds. It's time to heal them and release them instead of carrying them. Perhaps these are the wounds that are still holding you back in your life. Now, at the same time, you also have Venus and the North Node opposition, which generally with Venus aligning with the South Node, this is a karmic energy, karmic transit. So we've got a karmic undertone here. This could bring a turning point in your finances, in your sense of self-worth, anything to do with some financial entanglements as well. So perhaps with oppositions also, this is about meeting halfway. It's about compromise. And with the South Node activation with Venus, this is also about something dissolving from your life, from your reality. Venus is at this time in Virgo. And Virgo, this is your 8th house of transformation, shared and joint resources, finances. So we've got the opposition between your area of the 8th house and the 2nd house. So the financial houses are activated. So for this reason, it could be a potentially turning point in your area of finances, in your area of income. So perhaps you might be faced with a choice to either stay at a job that you don't necessarily like, that you don't find fulfilling, or perhaps it's about following a path that is more in alignment with your inner sense of self, with your long-term goals. So here, questions around your worth, around your career, around your life direction may show up around this time. And perhaps it's time to redefine them. Perhaps it's time to let go of what no longer is in alignment, what no longer serves you. For others, this could manifest as perhaps making the need to make an important financial decision, to set a financial goal for yourself, for your future. So thank you very much, Aquarius. Now let's have a look at Pisces. Pisces, welcome. So here we've got a really interesting week. We've got a few challenging transits this week, but they are not overly dramatic, I would say, because they don't involve the outer planets. So here we've got Mercury and Jupiter square happening on the 1st of October. And this energy will generally, it could create potential miscommunications in your closest relationships. Or perhaps this could create some miscommunications or some kind of slightly difficult vibes around topics connected to loans, debts, mortgage, for example. Mercury is the planet of communication, or a rational mind, or rational thinking. It can create a mental fog when it squares Jupiter. Now, at the same time, watch out for any themes, tendencies connected to over-promising, overextending yourself. Stay grounded in their reality, especially since under the influence of these energies, sometimes we feel overly optimistic about something that perhaps we are not fully sure about. So, for example, you might promise to pay a bill or to cover some expenses without checking your bank account first. So the practical advice is to review your budget, to review your spendings, outgoings, but perhaps hold off of any major investments around this time. Now, on October the 3rd, we've got Mercury and Chiron opposition, and also Venus and the North Node opposition. So simultaneously, Venus will align with the South Node. So there is a karmic undertone here, of course, and this energy will be especially prominent on the 3rd, but it will already be activated from the 2nd until the 4th. So with Mercury and Chiron opposition, well, Chiron is the wounded healer. So with Chiron, especially oppositions, this is often related to other people's influence, some kind of criticism or some kind of negative comment, something that you might read that generally you might take it quite personally. And this energy generally here, Mercury is in Libra at this time. Chiron is in the sign of Aries. So we've got the activation of the 8th and of the 2nd house. So this energy could bring up some old unresolved energies, issues, wounds connected to your sense of self-worth, connected to your finances, to your income, to financial security, stability. Perhaps you might feel extra sensitive to perhaps criticism coming from your partner or a business partner, from your boss, for instance. So generally don't let these negative energies or any comments make you feel small, make you feel like you're not capable of a fulfillment of success. Because at the same time, any wounds, insecurities, the negative energies that come up, show up, this is your chance to face them, to understand them, to release them. Because at the same time, Venus and the South Node align by a conjunction, and they connect with the North Node by an opposition. So there is a karmic undertone, karmic energy, a major turning point potentially in the area of your career, in the area of your public life, reputation, for example, as well. Venus is in your 7th house, and the South Node as well, and the North Node in your 1st house. So this is something very personal, and this could be about having to kind of face an important decision, to make an important decision regarding your future, regarding your goals, regarding the direction that you're heading. This could be, for example, about deciding which path you want to take. If you are at a turning point in your career journey, when you are trying to decide whether to stay in a safe place or whether to follow your passion. This will depend on your circumstances. It could be also about deciding whether the existing, for example, relationship connection is the right one for you. So this is a moment when you need to be honest with yourself, and you need to think, what is it that you truly want to do? This isn't about rushing too quickly into conclusions, into making these big decisions. There is a karmic energy here. So the events, situations, conversations that occur around this time, they could feel fated. They could feel very karmic as well. So thank you very much, Pisces.